Hey everyone, I'm Chris and this is Cue the Credits. Welcome back to Cue the Credits, the home of everything physical media, boutique Blu-rays and the art of collecting. Today we are talking my November haul. So everything that I bought in the month of November or got delivered in the month of November, I should say. There's a couple of titles in here that were bought in October and only finally got delivered to me in November. So they count for here, even though they were bought last month. But to be quite honest with you, I can't believe we're at the end of November already. Black Friday is come and gone, though the sales still linger around, and we're just a couple of weeks away from Christmas. It's kind of exciting, but also really, really daunting. So with that being said, I'm here to help you with that little bit of holiday stress, show you some of the bits and bobs that I added to the collection this month. And hey, let's have a conversation in the comments below. What was the favourite thing that you picked up this month? Without further ado, let's get on to pickup number one, and that is The Mask. This is a 4K limited edition. Now, you're probably going, if you watch this channel, you did a video up there, Chris. Why is this still sealed? Well, the one that I got through from HMV was a little bit battered and bruised. Thankfully, managed to take it into a store where I was near working and they swapped it over for a brand new sealed version. So considering I've already watched this, I'm going to keep it sealed until we end up watching it again. But if you want to hear my full thoughts on this box set and the transfer and everything like that, check it out up above and I'll put the link in the description below. But spoiler alert, it's a really, really good transfer. It's a really nice box and I absolutely adore Jim Carrey, especially 90s Jim Carrey, and The Mask is easily one of mine and my other half's favourite Jim Carrey films. So gets a thumbs up from me. Next up is a Steelbook that is had a reprinted run. This sold out quite a while ago and then was just kind of in limbo of whether it was going to get a reprint. The Steelbook edition is the definitive version of it. You can get an Amaray, but you miss out on a couple of bits and bobs. So once again, as you know, and as I've said for the last couple of months, not buying any more Steelbooks. There's more Steelbooks, and there's this one that I'm about to show you in this haul. I just can't stop, man. So pickup number two is the 10 Commandments. This is a 4K limited edition Steelbook for the 65th anniversary, which nuts. Apparently this looks incredible on 4K. I'm kind of in an old-timey movie vibe at the moment. I'm gearing up for Christmas and I'm just wanting to watch some epics. So I've got this and of course got Lawrence of Arabia in a couple of weeks ago. So I've kept them nice and sealed until the time is right to just sit down and watch these 3+ hour long epics. I've only seen bits of the 10 Commandments, but I mean, it's a classic, right? It's got Dolby Vision and Dolby Audio, and I'm trying to look at the runtime, which is, oh, it's only 136 minutes. I was under the impression that this was like a 3+ hour film. Win-win. That's like a nice 6-hour double feature day if I team it with Lawrence of Arabia. Exciting. But yeah, 10 Commandments, as you can see, you've got the front art there, a little bit of glare, but it's a nice looking Steelbook. I'm excited to crack it open, see the back design and everything. But these old movies just look absolutely incredible on 4K. Stay tuned for what I watched in November, where I wax lyrical about a couple of 60s and 70s movies that just look brilliant on physical media. So yeah, 10 Commandments. Next up is a US import, and I've been wanting to get the Scream Factory version of this for a little bit of time, and then had a deal come up on this specific one and I couldn't say no to it. This features artwork from Orlando Aracena, who did Return of the Living Dead just there, so I couldn't say no to having another piece of his art in the collection. And that is Sam Raimi's Drag Me to Hell. This is his 2009 return to horror after he directed the Spider-Man trilogy, and I've only seen little bits of this, like the garage scene. I'm pretty sure I might have seen the whole thing when it came out in cinemas, but you know, it's one of those where you're pretty sure you've seen it, but it also would have been 16 years ago. My other half, absolute horror movie nerd. This scares her, so I know that it's a good horror film if she gets the heebie-jeebies from it, so I'm excited to recheck this out. It has been a mad month, so a lot of the stuff you're going to see is still sealed. I haven't got to watch half of the things that I wanted to, so you're going to see a lot of sealed things, but this is Drag Me to Hell. This is a Scream Factory limited edition 4K Steelbook. Next up is my only vintage pickup for the month, and honestly, that is very rare, but there hasn't been a massive amount on there that's been kind of tickling my fancy. In the sense of good deals, there's something that I'm hovering on now, but that'll be what I bought in December. But nothing that's really been like, oh my God, I need to get this. Apart from this one. So saw this near the start of the month. It was a relatively decent price. I chucked in a relatively lowball offer of £11 and the seller accepted, which is effectively half of the retail price because this goes for around about £22 to £24. So it would have been rude of me not to pick up South Park, bigger, longer and uncut, all sealed. So this is still the sealed version. This is a US copy, as you can see by the barcode being cut out on the back and the lack of logos. I've got a region-free player, so I'm not massively worried about that. There is a UK release of this now, but there is, you know, nothing different on it, so half the price to have this in the collection. I've been umming and ahhing over it for a while, but the price has always been too high. Maybe this is why this one was going a bit cheaper, or they wanted to get rid of it because we've got a UK release now, so it's a little bit harder to move the US versions. But still, South Park, bigger, longer, uncut. Watch this on an anniversary screening. I want to say this year, but actually it might have been last year. So it's due a rewatch, especially with the new season of South Park using a lot of similar themes from this film. I'm in the mood for a rewatch. Next up, and this is one of the bigger videos that I've done this month, absolutely massive Holy Grail. I talked about it in the video that there was a lot of like and ahhing on whether this was going to actually turn up, whether it was going to be in good condition, and I'm so thankful that it is. And that is the Friday the 13th collection deluxe edition from Scream Factory. A couple of good Scream Factory releases this month, actually, just bulking out the collection. But I've done like a near 30-minute video on this collection, unboxing every little bit, showing off all of the discs and all of the stuff that you get in it. So if you want to check out this full video, link up and down there in the description. But just so jazzed. Not sure how many of these I'll get to before next Halloween, but pretty sure next Halloween's going to have a big old Jason marathon going on. And Freddy with the new Nightmare box set that came out. Just a great time for horror icons in the last couple of hauls, right? Look how rad that mask is. Like I said, if you want to check it out, done a full video of it. Now, if you've been around on the channel for a while, you'll know that I absolutely adore Second Sight Films and the releases that they put out. So you know that I was absolutely hyped when I got an email from Zavi being like, Second Sight price drops. But then you have that apprehension that, oh, is it the just standard versions? Because you know I gotta have those nice big chunky collector's editions on the shelf. But there were actually some collector's editions on there and 4K ones. And that's where this next pickup comes in. I did have two in my basket and ended up umming and ahhing on whether I should be spending money, and I did have a relatively lower budget for like the main part of the month, just so I had a little bit more to play with when the Black Fridays hit at the end of the month, which you'll see all of those pick up maybe in a separate video. If you want to see that, let me know in the comments down below, or they'll just be all encompassed in the what I bought in December. Anyway, the moral of the story is if you're wanting something, get it. At least it is for me, because I end up then being like, oh my God, I should have got it. I'm feeling really like down on my luck about it. But anyway, the one annoyingly that I didn't get was Tangerine, which is a Sean Baker film, which would have gone really nice with the Florida Project Second Sight box set that came out. It was only a Blu-ray. Maybe they're shifting stock for a 4K release that they could be doing, but I kind of highly doubt that. Either way, missed out on Tangerine, and it was on such a good price. It was like £17 or 15 quid or something like that. Anyway, the other thing in my basket I still did manage to pick up, and this was an absolutely crazy deal. It was around about £22, I believe, and that is Martin Scorsese's Mean Streets. Now, this is a 4K limited edition, as I said, from Second Sight. It is still sealed. Haven't had the chance to actually dive into this one yet, but it's one that I've been looking at for a good chunk of time. But I didn't really want to pay like upwards of £50 for it. Closer to 20 though. It's a gorgeous box set. I mean, you can't say no to a Scorsese, right? So this is going to be a really exciting watch. Currently, as a spoiler for what I watched in November, been going through The Godfathers, so feel like I'm in that bit of a crimey mood as well. So this is going to sit really, really nicely once I've finished those ones. Next up, just had a quick pickup from CEX, and we do have another CEX pickup actually after this, but this was purely bought on the fact that I had a voucher and I used it. Well, used a little bit of it, and then they gave me a printed out version rather than emailed one, and I just had it sitting in my wallet, and it was stressing me out that I was going to lose the voucher. So I ended up picking up this while I was down in another city for work. Saw it, had a nice slipcover. I'd been looking at some on Vinted which were like £10+, and honestly, when you see the movie, you're going to know why I didn't want to spend that much on it. But it is one of those films where I do have a guilty pleasure for it, and it is a relatively good time. Remember watching it in the cinema and being like, it's a good fun time. So I'm expecting on 4K with all the surround sound, this is going to be a great watch. And that is Deepwater Horizon. So this is the Peter Berg film with Mark Wahlberg. It's part of his like Mark Wahlberg playing real life people series, as it were. And I want to get this correct. This follows like real life event that happened when the Deepwater Horizon offshore oil rig had basically a disaster on the 20th of April 2010. And it does note, before the end of the day, the world would bear witness to one of the greatest man-made disasters in US history. So it's a really intense action film, and it's got a proper all-star cast in though. It's got obviously Mark Wahlberg, Kurt Russell, John Malkovich, Dylan O'Brien, Kate Hudson, Gina Rodriguez. It's a stacked cast. This was, as you can see, £6. I think the voucher that I had was like £5.20. So I'm going to count this as an 80p pickup. It should be a really good time. It comes with a slip as well, which is relatively okay, apart from like a little bit of like dinkage there. But all in all, really happy with this pickup. So Deepwater Horizon. Next up was another US pickup, so 3 this month. It's been just a month of imports. This is something that I've been wanting to get for a while, but I didn't want to pay the import fees, nor did I want to pay the UK version of it, mainly because if you can see here, and you're not going to be able to see, but there's another one here, Alfred Hitchcock collection on 4K. I'm a massive Hitchcock fan, and while I was in the States a couple of years ago, I grabbed volume 2 and volume 1 of the Hitchcock Classics collection on 4K. Now, one of the big differences between the US and the UK versions, well, actually, there wasn't even UK versions when I picked up these originally, hence why I got those ones. First off, the US ones are like so much cheaper. I'm talking like a third of the price of the UK ones. Secondly, the UK ones are like chunky boys, whereas the US ones sit quite nicely in a relatively slim package. And honestly, when your shelves are looking like this, a slimmer package is always welcome. So to help with the OCD, I had to get the US version. So I've been looking around on and off and saw one go up on Vinted actually which was the US version, was a relatively good price, but someone pipped me to the post really annoyingly. So I went, oh, you know what, I'll have a look on eBay again. Managed to find one, send an offer in. I paid less than $14 for this, and it is sealed. So I think all in all, with the shipping from the States, it cost me, conversion obviously, less than £20, which is crazy. And that is the Alfred Hitchcock Classics Collection Volume 3. Now obviously we are getting to the point where we're out of the the big Hitchcock films, and we're down to, this has got Rope, The Man Who Knew Too Much, Torn Curtain, Topaz and Frenzy, compared to your Psychos and your Saboteurs and the various other ones that were in Collection 1 and 2. This is obviously getting into the other part of Hitchcock's career. Don't get me wrong, still great films, but not fetching as much of a higher price tag. Either way, really, really stoked to get this in the collection. It has come in absolutely immaculate condition. When I saw it turn up, it was in the tiniest of boxes, and I was like, oh my god, is it going to be battered? Because unfortunately my volume 1 is just absolutely trashed, and that's because I purchased it while I was over in the States and they just packaged it like trash, and there was no way for me to get a replacement quick enough before I left the States. But still, Hitchcock Volume 3 collection for an absolutely amazing, amazing price. I mean, 5 4Ks and Blu-rays and digital codes for less than 20 quid. You can't say no. On to the final 3 now, and I've switched them around a little bit because they're not picked up in purchase order, but 2 of them were from the same sales, so it's just easier to put them all together. So the first one I picked up on a Blu-ray hunt, and you may see some out and about Blu-ray hunts come in soon. If you're interested in that sort of content, by all means let me know. I was testing with the concept a little bit, but anyway, I couldn't say no to this pickup. It was £1 whole, and I don't know whether it's because it's been a crazy week and I needed a little bit of laughy feel good, but I got the Dwayne Johnson Hercules film from CEX. As you can see, a whole £1 on Blu-ray. I watched this when it came out in the cinemas, and I'm pretty sure I enjoyed it. I don't know whether that's going to be the case rewatching it, but I'm quite excited to revisit it, maybe. I mean, look, you've got a lion jumping at a rock there. It's yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Stay tuned for my what I watched, probably maybe December, maybe January, it depends. It's not high on the watch list, but actually it really should be. Maybe I'll watch it tonight. Maybe I will. Stay tuned. The final 2 pickups of the month, and that's got a little bit of an asterisk on because I have grabbed some things in the Black Friday sales, but they are yet to be delivered, so I'm gonna pop them in, like I said, probably December's video, unless you want a separate Black Friday haul video. And both of these next pickups are from HMV, who are currently doing 20% off pretty much all of their 4Ks and Blu-rays. As of the time of filming, I believe it finishes on the 1st of December. Picked up a couple on that deal, and the first one is absolutely entirely my good buddy Cine Mike's fault for just planting that seed in my head and letting it grow, and then I saw it being 20% off, and it's an Arrow limited edition, and I can't say no to an Arrow limited edition, and that is Miss 45. I was eyeing this up in Arrow's October release slate, but there was, as you saw, there was a lot of stuff in October, and I didn't really want to pay £30 for a blind buy version. But following Mike's wonderful video that I will link up and down below with his recommendations, I had to grab Miss 45. As he noted, it is a big influence for Tarantino. This looks really cool. It's going to look brilliant in the red section because this is a gorgeous red spine. Pretty sure, actually, if we just grab this out, oh, look at that. Slightly off colour, but yeah. I'm not sure what Arrow we're using for printing, but like with that Deep Blue Sea one, it's so sharp, and same with the Miss 45, even with the with the seal on there. So yeah, picked this up in the sale. It was meant to be $29.99. Got 20% off it, brought it down to under 25 for a 4K hardbox Arrow limited edition. What's not to like? This is from the director of King of New York, which is a really good Christopher Walken film, and it comes a terrifying revenge thriller in the tradition of Death Wish and Taxi Driver, which, I mean, yeah. I won't read out the synopsis for it because, you know, it might get me flagged or something, but basically this lady is attacked at gunpoint and then goes and enacts revenge. It's a sub-90 film, like I noted before, inspired a lot of Tarantino films, so that's why I want to check it out. So really excited to check out Miss 45. And then the final pickup of the month, which was something that the other half's noted that she's wanted to pick up for a while. It dropped down to like £16 for a Steelbook, but just didn't end up picking it up in the end. So when I saw it was on the 20% off sale and it was coupled with still being down to £16, well, I had to grab it, didn't I? And that is Willow. This is on a 4K Steelbook, so HMV, as I said, dropped this down to £16 a couple of months ago, and it's just been sitting there. It hasn't sold out or anything like that, so got a little bit of double discount on this, and it brought it down to like £12 something. I'm not in the right headspace to do the maths, so that's like what, 16, so £3.20, £3.20 off. That is yeah, like £12.79 I think it was. But Warwick Davis, Val Kilmer in a fantasy epic. I haven't seen Willow before, so this is a blind buy for me. Other half loves it, being like an 80s fantasy. I'm also like, I'm kind of gutted because if I watch this and really, really like it, there was a TV series and Disney have taken it off Disney Plus, so I'm not going to get to see the culmination of the Willow story, which is a bit sad. But really excited to check this one out. It's kind of sitting in that not old-timey vibe, because the old-timey films that I wanted to watch were 50s and 60s, but still the vibe is what we're needing, and I am excited to check out Willow. So that is everything that I picked up in the month of November, asterisk, not including the Black Friday stuff. Realistically, I think I did relatively well. We got some stonking deals on various things and also got some holy grails come in. So I'm very, very pleased with my November haul, though it was relatively chill, even though we've still got a pretty decent pile. So tell me down in the comments below, if you haven't already commented, what was your favourite pickup of November? And what was your favourite one of my pickups that I showcased? Which one should I watch first? That's the real question. Thank you so much again for watching this episode of Cue the Credits. I really appreciate all of your support. We are so close to 500 subscribers now. I can almost taste it, but it's honestly absolutely nuts. Like, I cannot believe it that, you know, when I started doing this at the end of July, I thought I was just going to be yapping to a camera for a while. Not the fact that nearly 500 of you would be subscribed and wanting to see me just chat about movies. So thank you so much for making this little venture such a reality and building an amazing community. Please remember to like, drop those comments below, subscribe, share it with your friends, do all of the YouTubey stuff. And until next time, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace!